Presenting the world's only business school without the BS. With optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
I'm a father of five with maniacal focus to teach the proven moves, no hocus pocus. Cause get rich quick is not a move, but the proven system will make your life improve. See, I'm more than just a rhymer, like a horse with blinders. Focused on the Thrive Time Show is where you find us. He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you score. I couldn't see the light until my son could see, but I learned to rock the mic in the high school scene. A young DJ with the $1 dream.
Like I didn't care, and then I realized for a moment that I actually did care, so I put them back down.
We got one up
So
and one down.
I was putting my hands in the air and I was waving like I didn't care, and I was just kind of like, yes. And then I realized, but I do care, so I put them back down.
See, it's not fair that you care, so your hands can't be in the air.
This is the problem with white church. People are like, put your hands in the air, Gary. Put those hands in the air, Kyle. Like you just don't care. Put the hands in the air like you just, and all of a sudden we're going, but do we care? We overthink it.
Church is a
and then we all
caring
put our
place.
hands at our sides. We're like, let's just go to communion as soon as possible. Please go to communion. Please switch into collecting. Please do the whole tithing thing.
We're more comfortable with the body of Christ.
Can we switch into the announcements right now? Can we go back to old school Presbyterian, please? Please, my hands were in the air. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, guys. Sorry to let you guys down. Okay, now the question we have from a Thriver that was emailed to us. By the way, if you email us, we will answer your question.
info@thrivetimeshow.com.
They emailed, what are your rules for raising or lowering prices? So I have 3 rules. They're very simple. Anybody who tries to make it more complicated has a mental disorder. So here we go. The notable quotable from Dr. Robert Zellner: the value, the main core value you want to keep in mind when setting your prices, the main methodology, the main system, the main mindset you want to have is pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. That's what my partner, Dr. Robert Zellner. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. What does that mean? Don't be greedy.
Ever.
Yes. Just don't.
Just don't.
You do you not see me? We had a meeting. I won't get into the details because it was a private meeting with a coaching client. But did you not see the meeting we had on Friday with a guy? And you see the situation where if I wanted to take advantage of it, I could.
Oh, easily.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I could, though. I mean, and again, because Satan has not been fully rebuked from my mind, when I heard the initial scenario, I thought, this could be a no-brainer. I could take advantage of this deal. But I didn't, because I'm a father. And I want to be a good example for my kids, and I'm going to go to heaven, and God is always watching. I'm like, I'm sorry, God, I've not even thought that.
Well, and you can't build long-term win-win relationships
screwing
if you're
people.
taking advantage of people.
So I told the guy numerous times, I said, hey, I know what you want to do right now is this, but don't do it for you. You're so close to success in your own life. Don't take a shortcut. Don't have Clay Clark take over that business right now. Because if I did it, I'm going to make a ton of money, and I'm going to win, and it's super easy. But for your benefit, I'm asking you one last time here. Stick it out. You're almost there.
Right.
So that's a rule. Now, here are the 3 specific rules for pricing. 1, you want to create a bankable profit margin. Banks will laugh at you if you don't make a profit margin of at least 20 to 25%. So add up the cost of the goods, the cost of the labor, the cost of your office space, all your hard costs. That's called hard costs, like the costs that don't change.
Those are the costs that are there. Even if you don't sell one thing, those costs are still going to be there that month.
Your lease, your phone, your air conditioning, that kind of thing. Then add up all of your cost of goods or the variable costs. Those are costs associated with each product or service you deliver. And make sure you tack on a 20 to 30% profit margin. Make sure you add up all the labor, add up everything, and then make a 20 to 30% margin, and you should feel ethical. Some industries have a higher margin, like jewelry, because they sell less jewelry, and it's hard to secure diamonds and pull them out of the earth's crust. And so those businesses might have a higher profit margin. But then again, people don't buy 18 diamonds in their life. They usually buy 1 or 2.
It lasts forever.
Right. So people usually don't. On my move is I upgrade my wife's wedding ring all the time. So that's a different thing. But most people buy a wedding ring and stick with it for 20 years. And I did too. I stuck with it for 15 years and I upgraded later. But that's why they'll have a higher margin. Or if you're a public speaker and you can only be present, one time a week or 2 shows a week or whatever that is, then you might have a higher margin for that kind of a scenario. Now, the next rule is you want to attempt to sell 100 somethings at that price to see if the market's willing to pay for it.
Right. You're not going to know unless you try. We keep talking about it. It's take action.
Remember when I started a photography company years ago, I was advising a client who later became what became Epic Photography,
right?
Epicphotos.com. But he didn't know what to charge. And I said, well, let's lower your price. How much are your prices now? He said, they're like $3,000. I said, okay, let's go to the wedding show and lower them to $900 and see how many we sell. And he's like, are you kidding me? I said, no, I mean, you take all the photos, you and your wife. So you guys, I'm only doing like 5 or 6 weddings a year right now. Let's see if you guys could do 100. So we put the prices at $900. We said we'll beat any competitor's price by 50%. A little big banner. Put a big banner up there. Just a little move on a big banner. And people started lining up. And they're about halfway through the first day of the 2-day wedding show. They said, I think this is working too good. So we raised prices. And in Epic, long story short, we settled on the move where we would beat any competitor's price by 30% while I owned the company. Now, different ownership, I'm not sure what their strategy is now. I'm sure they've come up with a plan that makes sense for them. But I always like to beat every competitor's price by 30%. Rule number 3, don't ask family or friends for their help when pricing. So I'm going to pick on Devin Woolery. Devin, have you ever had you're a coder for the Thrive Time Show team. Have you ever had a business idea to start a company?
I have.
Have you ever talked to a member of your family about it? Not your family, probably someone else's family, who doesn't know anything, who gave you a strong opinion because they felt like they needed to fill the vacuum that is created when you ask a question that they don't know the answer to. So they gave you advice that at no point made sense?
Oh, definitely.
Have you had this happen to you?
I have.
So I remember I was starting DJ Connection. I used to say, hey, family, what do you guys think I should change my prices to? And you'd have some uncle who's like, well, I tell you what, one thing you'd want to do is you want to make at least what I'd heard, 80% margin. I'd charge like $1,000, because people value what they pay for. And like Mercedes is like huge. And you're a startup, and you want to be huge from the beginning. And so you want to look big before you are, so I'd probably do 2,000, 2,000 overall. I mean,
no, I'd say 20,000.
And so I'm running back. I'm like taking notes on this. Like, oh, so my chronically unemployed uncle gave me a tip to price my DJ service that he knows
a good deal.
But he's never been a DJ, never hired a DJ, doesn't have a job, but he gave me strong opinions. You go talk to someone else, and they're like, well, I would do it like for $50 because I've never used a DJ. And that's, I remember one aunt of mine, she literally said this. And if you're listening, aunt, I want you to make sure that I know you refer to yourself as an aunt because you're in Minnesota, but I want you to remember saying this statement to me, you dream crusher. She says, well, soon the iPod is going to eliminate DJs. They'll just be gone because you won't even need them. And I said, really? So you're going to go to a wedding and hit play on a small personal device and then have that awkward pause in between songs and no announcements? Oh, no. We could have family make those announcements.
That'll go great.
So long story short, my brother got married in Minnesota, and he said, could you DJ? And I rocked the crap out of that party just to show the value of a DJ. It was like a laser show. Conga lines everywhere. You can't replace a DJ with an iPod. This whole jackassery. We have a culture right now where we're trying to replace parents with an app. Hey, let's replace parenting with an app. Hey, let's replace the need to go to church with an app. Hey, let's replace friendships with virtual reality.
Everybody wants to replace something with an app so they can go take a nap. Right? It's just like a laziness thing, I think. Everybody's just looking for the shortcut.
That's all it is.
And there's a lot of things in life and business that you cannot shortcut. It will end up screwing you over big time.
So here are the rules. 1, create a bankable profit margin of 20 to 25%. That way a bank would lend you money if you wanted to expand. 2, attempt to sell 100 somethings at that price. And 3, don't ask family and friends for their help when pricing your items, unless your family and friends are business gurus who know what they're talking about. So, Chuck, bridge the gap between what we just taught and executing this.
Okay, so, one thing I wanted to join it is if you're not going to be asking friends and family, you can come ask a group of business coaches, and you're going to get some advice like this. Your price is pretty close to right whenever customers complain, but they still buy.
So, okay, let me make sure we're getting this. I'm not talking about being greedy. I'm just talking about I know for a fact I love Outback.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I love the Outback.
That bloomin' onion.
It's great. And I'll go in there for a little meat snack. You know what I mean? Because I have to act. That's how I feel. Yeah. I go in there, and I always notice the prices are a little bit higher than what I'd like them to be.
Right.
Because I feel like if they had high-quality, organic U.S. beef, then they could do that for like $5. I would go there every day.
all day.
But they won't do it for me, Chop. They're trying to make a profit.
What a bunch of jerks.
What a bunch of jerks.
You know?
So you have to, people are going to complain eventually about the price.
Right.
Just make sure you're making at least a 25 or 30% profit margin.
Right. And so if you need to learn more about that kind of stuff, then you need to come out to our next workshop, February 16th and 17th. And they're normally $99 for those tickets, each $99 each, but we're going to get you 2 free tickets.
Sick.
If you will search for Thrive Time Show on the Google machine. Okay?
Search
Thrive Time
for
Show.
Thrive Time Show.
Click on the Stitcher or iTunes link and then
Nice.
subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast and then rate and review. Leave us an objective review. Let us know what you think about the show. Screenshot that bad boy and email it with your phone number to info@thrivetimeshow.com for 2 free tickets.
We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we're not going to get anything done unless we begin. So I encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com and take advantage of the 4 tools we have available
There's
for you.
4.
We have the podcast,
1,
the one-on-one business coach,
2,
the business conferences,
3,
and a video library of thousands
4.
upon thousands of video trainings from mentors and gurus, people from all over the planet who know their craft. My name's Clay Clark. If you want to see a video version of today's podcast broadcast, you can subscribe to thrivetimeshow.com today, and you'll see all of them. We'll see you tomorrow.
and
3, 2, 1, boom! We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we